the country is consumed by this idea of whether or not Donald Trump is alive or not, right? Like we saw him last week and do a bunch of things. But people all weekend during the holiday weekend were trying to figure out if Donald Trump's alive because he's been doing so many fewer events. But at the same time, we've got this guy, Wes Moore, who's out there who is actually trying to make the country a better place and trying to defend his state. I like the way Wes Moore is pushing back.
Hey, Jamal. Good to see you again for our latest episode of Trailblaze, our weekly therapy, trying to figure it all out about politics and America's role in the world. I have been very interested following on our conversation about Gavin Newsom and the Newsom of it all, about how Governor Wes Moore of my state of Maryland is reacting to this political moment. What do you think?
No, it's like the country is consumed by this idea of whether or not Donald Trump is alive or not, right? Like we saw him last week and do a bunch of things. But people all weekend during the holiday weekend were trying to figure out if Donald Trump's alive because he's been doing so many fewer events. But at the same time, we've got this guy, Wes Moore, who's out there who is actually trying to make the country a better place and trying to defend his state. I like the way Wes Moore is pushing back. I think all these different characters on the Democratic side are showing us how to do it.
I respect that. And, you and I are still wrestling with and figuring out where we sit in the Democratic Party spectrum and how this is all developing as we're a different generation that's coming into
Mhm.
power, or is trying to come into power is the key part. What I find with the reference about how the internet and what the internet is scouring right now versus people in leadership positions who are trying to push back on these bigger systemic challenges. And here's what I mean by that, right? So it's the JD Vance is up there on a stage saying, oh, not only is Donald Trump amazingly healthy, but by the way, don't worry, I'm ready to stand. Like if something happens to him, I'm ready to go. I'm like, you guys are just sitting here talking about your own power ambitions. There's no way that a Kamala Harris could have said that with all of the sleepy Joe Biden-ness going on. So now what we're seeing is that the internet is rightly so looking at Trump in a way that people had looked at Biden, right? Where is he? What is he doing? Why is he now out and about more often? And yes, some of that has to do with age. That is the reality of what it means to age in society, especially with these crazy busy jobs. And then you have Wes Moore show up, right? Who's only in his 40s. And he's, as he said multiple times the last couple of days, that when Trump is coming for Baltimore and when Trump comes for National Guard and trying to extend that to other cities, Wes Moore takes it personally.
Yeah, Wes Moore is not going to be taken down by Donald Trump, right? Like he talks about the fact that he served in the National Guard. He talks about the fact that he, lived in Baltimore. He knows the tough parts of what it means to live in a place that is struggling. I like Wes Moore also because he's having so much fun. If Gavin Newsom is sort of the angry troll, like the making fun of him, Wes Moore is like no, I actually really enjoy governing. I like taking care of people. I like figuring out their problems. I like getting the bridge that fell down back up and running in record time. I want the government to work. And you know what? I'm going to go hang out with a football team. I'm going to sit in the parking lot and hang out with a bunch of people at a tailgate party because why not have some fun at this? If we're all going to be in this country together, we'll find a way to make it work and make it interesting. I like it.
Jamal, this goes to that question that we discussed about authenticity, right? Like you can pivot and adapt and adjust to meet people where they're at and say, okay, this is how I need to communicate with people. This is what resonates with them. And that can be anything from policy to how you show up. But at the end of the day, people have a very strong sniff test for authenticity. Like, do I really believe this is what you would be doing and saying if you weren't in the public eye right now? Yes, people believe that about Trump. That Trump behind closed doors is pretty much the Trump that we see out in public. And that's believable about Wes Moore because Gavin Newsom, still right, that it's still that the guy, listen, he's had a great successful career. He's advanced through a whole, in ways that I can't imagine for myself, but he became part of a establishment that people are unhappy about and the way to do things that isn't working for people anymore. And so I don't know that I can see Gavin Newsom showing up at a tailgate and actually knowing how to hang. I can see him at a black tie dinner and knowing how to deliver remarks and glad hand, right? And that, to me, that's the distinction of the images of when I see these leaders, knowing that by and large, they are pretty aligned on policy. They're not dramatically different. It's how they present themselves and what's believable.
That's right. We're going to all find out soon because this campaign is just getting started, and these leaders are just starting to vie for control of the left and the Democratic Party. So we got a lot going on. I'm looking forward to talking to you about it.
Thanks, Jamal. But I do have one concern, which is on the one hand, we know we have 3 years left of Trump, and there's a reality check there of what's happening to our systems. And it's great to have people talk about what governance should be and how people should approach public service. Hopefully, there will be an election in another 3 years. But another part of me is also like, oh, it just feels like it's too soon. I mean, is this helping or us deal with our current reality and push back if people are already trying to run as opposition presidents?
Listen, I don't know. I don't understand what any of it means, right? Like all the bets are off. We all are just trying to fight through it.
Like,
I'm happy to see people stand up, but who knows?
I just like I'm not ready for another presidential cycle. So when you said we're starting to see people run for president again, I was like, oh my God, can we just like get a break from all of that for a minute? Ugh. All right. Well, I guess we're not because that's how the American system works.
That's how it goes. All right. Talk to you about it again. See you soon.
All right. Thanks, Jamal. Bye.